Olympic City, Colorado Springs, Colorado. This is the USA Volleyball Show, and here are your hosts, Clarence Hughes and Stephen Munson.
Hello and welcome to the USA Volleyball Show, the official podcast of USA Volleyball. 67 episodes in, and we're still rolling. Stephen, good morning, good afternoon. Not sure what time it is over there, even though we're in the same time zone. How you doing?
Let me check. 9:23 up here in Denver. Yeah, no, I'm doing great. Excited, man. I'm just like giddy for this episode. It's so good.
You said you're gonna hit the gritty. What? All right, next promo. Stephen's hitting the gritty. Heard it here first.
Nobody wants to see that.
We all want to see it. Ooh, wait! You say you're going to be in Chicago, right? I know. I'm jumping ahead of things. All right. Look, social media challenge, best gritty across clubs. I'm just saying.
I like that. That. Let me. I don't have a pen and paper.
Write that down.
That's awesome, though. We have an exciting episode here, but before we get to it, I want to hear all about opens.
Man. I think opens is definitely on that upward slope of growth. I mean, we were at 370 teams last year. We were at about 400 teams this year, and that's still without the open division. You know, biggest task is trying to figure out how we can revive that open division. But with that being said, we got a lot of good feedback about how the tournament was ran. The overall setup. Everybody loved the DJ Beer Garden. Everybody loved the announcers that we have throughout the day on the award stage, kind of bringing some personality and some a little bit of culture to that too. I mean, we had everybody from the Venezuelan and Brazilian teams dancing and having a good time over there. It was really unique, and I think Dallas was a really special city to help kick things off even more. And then the players' party was also really great, too. I mean, line was out the door. Shout out to the backyard Ellen. But overall, I mean, from AA all the way over to the 70s division, it was really great competition. Really glad I got a chance to see a lot of it. And then, yeah, before we knew it, session 1 was done. Before we knew that, session 2 was done. And here we are talking about it.
That's right. Yeah, just flying by. But yeah, that was really cool. I saw on social media the DJ and the MC at the award stage. That was a nice touch. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they will be back next year. So that'll be awesome moving forward. And
confirmed right here on the podcast.
Confirmed. I also got to play. I'm so excited.
I was about to ask you about that.
Team. Yeah. How'd
that happen? Were you like free agent? Did you wear the free agent shirt around and get picked up? Or
I did. That's actually a really good idea. For those of you at Opens looking to add players or just want to be added to a team, wear a free agent shirt. You will get picked up. Players are always looking for people. But actually, I have a couple friends that were on the team that I played with or against here in Colorado Springs on a couple of co-ed forward teams, and then he was like, "Hey." It started with we needed a right side. We needed an opposite hitter. And I thought, cool, I can play oppo. And then that moved from me playing outside the first set. And then it also moved from me playing middle the second set. And it also moved from me staying at middle for the rest of the tournament. But that's okay. I love middle. That's my first position I learned how to play. I always loved middle, such a fun position. But now that I'm, older, I do love playing outside and right side a lot more too. Just, hitting opportunities and such there too. But again, played a bunch of middle. Curtis actually put me on the daily highlights a couple times.
There you go.
So shout out to Curtis there. And Josie, who's also on our staff, also got to play. I think she played women's B as well, the same session I did, and she killed it as well. We both played middle, so it was a lot of fun. We both got a chance to experience opens for the first time there. First time in Dallas, first time playing on teams, and it was really memorable. I'm really gonna see if I can put my own team together next year.
Yeah.
And then also Denver 2025. That's gonna be wild.
I was about to say when I was watching all the social media, I was like, oh, I can't wait for Denver next year. But it's Columbus next year, right? And then Denver. Yeah.
Columbus next year, Denver the next year. And can we also shout out to the sitting teams and the sitting division? I got a chance to see that for the first time. That was some really intense volleyball.
Yeah, I think there were They had some guests come on on some of those teams too. Some celeb appearances, which was pretty cool to see. And I always enjoy watching those courts, and it always draws a big crowd too.
It is intense. It was like
you'll walk in the convention center and you'll just see a big crowd, and you're like, what's going on over there? It's not a dance battle, it's sitting volleyball.
Volleyball too. And you can tell like some of the teams are finally back after being gone for a couple of years, and those like little rivalries that they have there.
Oh yeah,
like it really showed. Like there are a couple of guys like, wow, they are getting after it, and it's amazing. I was a little intimidated too. Guys, I still haven't tried sitting volleyball yet, but then they're all like, "Oh yeah, we got to get you on a team next year. You got this." Blah blah. I was like, "Give me about a month of practice, and then I got you." But
we already got the end. We got the end with Whitney.
I know.
So we got to get a team together. I've always wanted to play in that division. I've done a couple like sitting volleyball experiences. That they used to do at the USOPC training center in Colorado Springs, but I've never gotten to do like a competition, which is
all right. We got to do.
I really want to.
Me, you, and Curtis on a team moving forward next year. Let's do it.
Altitude Fitness. Let's go.
Altitude Fitness.
Well, awesome. I'm glad to hear Opens was great and a good experience for all the attendees. I did see a video of the players party as well. That looked like a lot of fun, and glad to hear it's growing too. And it's just going to getting better and better, which is fun.
That's the goal. If you guys ever have any feedback, where to email us at events@usab.org or opens@usab.org. We got a survey going out. All feedback is good feedback. So anything we're doing wrong that we might need to improve on, any suggestions too, we're always listening. We're always open for new ideas. Really trying to have this event evolve with the present times and with the changes and with the worldly changes always happening too, just to make it as fun and as a competitive experience for the adults as possible. A lot of the adults across all 40 regions, this is their one tournament, compared to, certain regions that have adult tournaments yearly and annually throughout the year, plus leagues and all that other stuff too. But for a lot of these teams, this is their one time a year that they get, I'm stuttering because I'm very excited about this. Sorry. But I mean, I also ran into our good friend of the pod, Jack Flora that we interviewed last year.
Oh yeah.
His team won it again. He's out there killing it. And
forming a dynasty over there.
Oh yeah. I can just see imagining the trophies in his trophy cabinet up like that too. But just seeing him, I mean, a testament to him with what he said last year. Like again, this is their one time where they get to have a reunion and reunite and catch up on old times and play some competitive volleyball. But yeah, a lot of fun, and I just can't wait to keep it going. We got to keep it rolling year after year after year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it continue to grow, and hopefully one of these next couple of years, I'll be able to play. I would love to play next year in Ohio, but for sure in Denver in our backyard.
All right, let's do it. Technically, literally your backyard.
Literally my backyard. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we have an awesome episode, so let's get right into it now with our little rigmarole here. If you haven't listened to our previous episode, we talked to three-time Olympian Scott Fortune ahead of the USA Volleyball Hall of Fame ceremony. Scott was inducted into the class of 2023 as he accepted the Harold T. Fryermuth Award, USA Volleyball's highest honor. He shares his reaction to receiving that honor, and we dive into his career with some incredible stories from him. You can listen to that on all podcast platforms or watch on usavolleyball.org or USA Volleyball YouTube. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for, news with Hughes.
This is not the moment you've all been waiting for. We haven't even revealed our guest yet, okay? But I love the setup. Drum roll, please. I'm just kidding. All right. Congratulations to the women's U21 national team for going undefeated. Not one set dropped.
Incredible.
Did you hear me? Not one set dropped. I'm going to say it one more time. Not one set, not a single set dropped the entire tournament, and capturing a second consecutive Pan American gold medal for the third time in program history. Over on the beach side of things, a congratulations to former guest of the pod, Sarah Sponsel, and her partner, Therese Cannon, on taking silver, as well as Annie Benesh and Miles Partain for winning bronze at the Beach Pro Tour Elite 16 in Ostrava, Czech Republic. The U.S. women's finished week 1 of Volleyball Nations League, aka VNL, undefeated. It wasn't easy though. 3 of their 4 matches went to a 5th set. There's a lot of sets. I'm tired just reading about it.
A lot of volleyball. Yeah.
A whole lot of volleyball. But week 2 is already underway. You can watch all VNL matches on volleyballworld.tv. That is volleyballworld.tv. Staying on the same topic, VNL, aka Volleyball Nations League, switch those, is coming to the United States. Watch the world's best volleyball athletes in person on home soil, beginning with the men's week 3 leg hosted in Anaheim, California from July 4th through July 9th. And then watch the women's finals in Arlington, Texas from July 12th through July 16th. Buy your VNL tickets for Anaheim and Arlington right now. For more on all of the latest news, visit usavolleyball.org.
All right. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
No. We already had it. You're right. No, I'm just kidding. We already had it.
On to today's show, making her return to the USA Volleyball Show podcast. And, of course, now back with the U.S. women's national team, 3-time Olympian, defending Olympic gold medalist, Jordan Larson. It was so great to catch up with Jordan, hear all about what went into her decision to return to the national team. We get to hear about her goals for this season. We reflect on winning the Olympic gold, the first for the women's program of Olympic gold, and just the excitement to host the BNL final round on U.S. soil, and so much more. So let's get right to it, right into it. Here's Jordan Larson. All right, well, we'll get started. Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. I know you're gearing up for BNL and being back in the USA gym and training, but we're really excited to have you back on. You were our very first guest on the podcast on episode 1, so we're excited to have you back here.
Yeah, excited to be back. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course. I don't know if you know this, but I was actually in Indianapolis for Girls Nationals. Was it last year? Was that right?
Yeah, last year. I was gonna say, that was the last time we saw.
Last year, and you did
all the medal presentation.
You did an athlete appearance there, and I was supposed to help you out with all that, and I was super excited and then super bummed that I actually got COVID. I think tested positive like the day before you got there, and so then I was like quarantined the rest of the event.
Oh my gosh,
we felt so bad. We were like dropping off like meds and stuff to Steven's room, like, all right. I'd be walking to the elevator. He'd be like, "Thank you." The basket. I'm like, "Oh, I feel so bad for you, man." That was like the terrible, worst timing ever.
Yeah,
I felt like that was a hotbed there for a little bit of time. I think you were not the only one that got COVID during that time. So.
Yeah, no, I think so. And yeah, I mean, you just never know at those big events too, and traveling, everyone traveling from all over the country too. So just got unlucky, but I did make it back to the event on the very last day, and so I was happy about that. Yeah. Well, thank you again, for taking the time to talk with us. We're excited to have you on, especially looking ahead to VNL. But definitely want to start off with a kind of a fun question here. Do you have, or is there anything that fans don't know about you? Maybe like a guilty pleasure or, favorite food or anything like that?
Oh, not necessarily, per se. I mean, I do have like a weird like gum ritual like before a game. I don't know if that's ever been public, but like I like will chew one piece of gum like for a warm up, and then I always give my second piece of gum to whoever our physio or trainer is, and then I swap it out like come game time. But I've always played with a piece of gum in my mouth since I was probably in college. So, and it has been like an ongoing thing. And like, also like, I don't know, I have this thing about like when I go to Europe, like the gum isn't the same. So I like bring all like my gum, like for like the whole season, like with me from the beginning. It's so weird, but something that I've done for a really long time.
You said that's been going on since college. Like, how did that start? Like, what moment you were like, all right, hey, hold this, and then we're doing this. You know, we're doing the gum swap thing. And how did that like kick off?
I have no idea. I don't know how it even got to that point. I think our trainer in college always had gum in her like medical bag, so I think like I would start with one piece, and then it would be like by end of first set, I was like it was old, so I would like swap it out. And then I was like, why don't I just like have one for warm up? And then like, I don't know. So it just became a thing. I don't really, that was a long time ago. I've ate quite a bit since then. So I actually don't really remember. But yeah, it just kind of been more of a ritual thing. So.
Do you have a brand or like flavor that you go to, and maybe even use this pitch if you don't have any gum sponsors to use this platform?
I love that. So I would say like I'm a big Extra brand or the 5 gum. Those are kind of two of my go-tos. And like Winter Mint is kind of the vibe. And sometimes I do, obviously being from the Big Red State, Big Red Gum.
There you go.
Times,
how has that not happened before? Yeah,
I know.
Not got that sponsorship.
I need to throw that out there. So sometimes that gets thrown in the mix, but I wouldn't say that lasts as long, but yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. My daddy said you Big Red.
I hate that I'm admitting this on your podcast.
No, this is great. This is the stuff fans want to know.
We're starting off strong.
Yep. For sure.
Also, all right, random question. What is your favorite song right now? Like, it could be like a game day warm-up song you always listen to, or something that's stuck in your head on repeat right now.
Yeah, I'm a big country girl. So, I mean, I still think the Morgan Wallen Last Night is still up there for me. It's
Morgan Wallen.
Classic. But I'm now kind of getting to the point where it's a little bit overplayed. But yeah, that's kind of been, and then also Outskirts by Sam Hunt. I think.
Ooh, nice.
I think it's a little bit older, not really, but yeah, also that one's on repeat.
Okay. So. A bit of a country fan as well. That last Morgan Wallen double album was just insane.
It was so good.
Yeah, Luke Combs is one of my favorites right now.
Oh, Luke Combs is also good. Seeing him in concert was unreal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just saw Shania in concert.
I don't know. A hot take here?
Yeah, I
love these.
I'm a big Shania fan. Like, she's an older artist and she's trying to come out with some new stuff. And I'm just like, stick to the classics. It's
I actually, I have a group of friends who went to the one in Denver, her show in Denver, and they said the exact same thing, that she played a lot of her new stuff, and they were bummed about that.
Yeah. I mean, there was some that was okay. I just, the classics. I'm just like, these are so good. Why would you like choose to do anything?
Why would you not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Shania, if you're listening to this, there you go.
I mean, you do you, but
one of our top listeners, I'm sure.
You give us a bad review. We're gonna get an email in the inbox talking about it. I'm just kidding.
It's gonna come after us.
I know.
All right. Well, let's get right into it. I mean, we have to talk about this at the top of the show. On May 4th, you posted on Instagram a photo of you hugging Chiaka and Justine with the caption, "Excited to be back with USAV WNT," obviously the U.S. Women's National Team. You never officially retired, but you took the last year off, and obviously a lot of speculation in the volleyball world about what you're going to do in the fandom. But how did you come to that decision of coming back to USA?
Yeah, obviously, I've been committed to USML for many, many years, and volleyball is still very much a passion of mine. And it was definitely not. I think my life kind of took a quick shift, but that also didn't lead into something that I wasn't still very much passionate about. And I think that I wanted to make sure that it was something that I really wanted to do. And like you said, I never really officially told Karch that I was retired or stepping away. And so that door had remained open. And just kind of started with initial conversations with him, like, hey, I'm kind of thinking like this. And, I just want to make sure that if I'm doing it, I'm going to be all in. And because I don't know, not only owe that to myself, but I owe that that to, the program and to the girls there as well. So I really wanted to make sure that that was something I wanted to do. And so I think come, February, March is kind of really when I was for sure, like definitely in. And then obviously like with the roster selections coming out, just wanted to make it more public because I was going to start getting a ton of questions. So I figured I'd better address it head on. So very thankful for Karch and the girls for embracing me, having me back. And it's been awesome so far.
Mm-hmm. Did you talk to any more people? You mentioned talking to Karch and, a few of your teammates there too. Did you talk to or consult with any maybe family members, close friends? I know it's a weird process just even, talk through your thoughts as that is, but, how did that go?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I have a great support system back home. And I think just navigating kind of what I wanted to do next. And is it still, I obviously was playing pro, and is being on the national team something that I was still passionate about. And I think I have always just loved representing our country, and it is something that I take immense pride in. And I think that I would probably I know most people stop playing with the national team and play overseas. I would almost probably do the reverse, where I would much rather play for our national team and represent that on a bigger whole than maybe sometimes go play overseas. So I think I've had that that pride since I was young, being on youth and junior program. And I think having those conversations with my family, really encouraging me to see what it could be. And I think with the quad being as short as it is, it kind of made that decision a little bit easier for sure, especially with how old I am and what I can still bring to the table for sure.
Yeah, speaking of playing internationally, you also returned to Verivali in Italy and had a great season there. Did that season kind of dictate a little bit or help you with that decision to come back with USA?
Yeah, for sure. I think I was in Monza not this year, but last year, like the last 2.5 months of season. And I really just fell in love with the club and the city, and just everything about Italy was awesome. And so going back and just feeling the love for the volleyball again, the love for my teammates, and just really being in that team environment really helped definitely make that decision much easier.
You kind of touched on it there, but I mean, what was it like? I mean, from social media, it looked like the reception was amazing. You touched on it here. What was it like, coming back to, the club and the atmosphere and that fan base?
Yeah, it's great. Obviously in Italy, they love volleyball. And so everywhere we travel, like usually is really good following, and just the people in general, they embrace you. They, it very much feels like a family. Like post match, it's like, hey, where are you going to, like people want to go have dinner and do those kind of things. So I don't know. I really love that. And and then I just think even my passion of just like wanting to get after it every day, like competing every day. Like I thought I was in a place, and I would stay true to like where I was last May. I felt ready. I was ready to kind of step away. But what I realized coming back is that even stepping away for a short time, like how much more capacity I have and how much more I still can give, maybe not even just playing, but like, advice or, things that I've learned through my playing past. I think like being able to kind of hone in those skills has really helped me, know that I could get more for sure.
So, I mean, was stepping away during those, during that brief moment, it seemed like it helped you, but I mean, can you talk about it and elaborate how just, that little bit of a break kind of helped you maybe process some things, maybe you picked up, some ways to, let's just say, just kind of organize those thoughts.
Yeah, for sure.
In that process.
Yeah. So in that time, I was doing some coaching. So I was at UT for a little while, and then I was doing some camps. And I think even now I'm going to continue to do some coaching because I think it is a passion of mine, I think. And I think when you are kind of trying to articulate to young athletes like how to do a skill or how to maneuver relationships with teammates, you learn a lot about like, okay, well, if I'm saying this, but then how am I doing it and how is it being perceived by others? I think it's a different lens in which normally, like as an athlete, you're not used to seeing. And so I think having that kind of one, mental rest and physical rest too, really helped me kind of gain a better perspective on, okay, how do I want to be? How do I want it to look? Even though I feel like I've had to have those tools in my toolkit for a long time, just because my physicality maybe doesn't outrank a ton of people. So having other skills in my toolkit and kind of expanding during that time really helped me kind of have a better perspective coming back into the game as well.
What's been the like early days so far being back in the USA Gym, just being back with the team, the coaching staff? Yeah, what's the energy, especially, just coming or looking ahead into the Olympic year here?
Yeah, it's great. We have a lot of people in the gym right now. I think we're a little over close to 30-ish. And so I think a lot of new faces, and which is a good thing. And just realizing that we have a lot of talent and a lot of good people, in the gym that want to get better every day. And it's really inspiring and encouraging to be back. Makes me feel a little old. I'm like, who's around from my generation? But, it's good. And, it's obviously the staff's great. But obviously now we're in and out with BNL, and just to see, when the team's competing in Turkey, our group chat's blowing up when we win, and I don't know, it just feels so much more of a team. And we've really tried in the last, 4 to 8+ years, really tried to work on a culture that we wanted to have. And you really see that shining through, and people that are coming into the program and how we want to operate differently. And I don't know, it's just really cool to see from quad to quad, how much has really changed. And now, it's a cool lens to see through.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about the last quad, kind of revisiting that final point, from Tokyo, kind of circling back. It was 24-14 in that third set. You guys are up 2-0, on the verge of winning that first Olympic, gold medal for the program. There's a substitution on the Brazil side of things, and you, Feluca, Michelle, Annie, Jordan, and Justin all huddle up. It looked like you were, talking to the group, talking through some things. Do you remember, what you specifically said, in that moment?
Yeah. I'm getting chills thinking about it. I don't remember at that moment, what we talked about. I think we just all knew that we needed to side out. And, I think it's tough because I remember my first quad, and we're in the finals in London against Brazil. And, even in the first set, it kind of got a little tight there in Tokyo. And I was like, guys, this is Brazil. You just can never count them out. They're obviously very talented. And, the momentum can switch at any point. And so I know we were up by a lot, but still it was guys, we have the opportunity to seal the deal now. We got to take it. And so you could just tell in everyone's eyes that they were ready, and we were preparing for this moment. And the thought that it was actually there, it's still so surreal some days. It's how did that even happen? So, yeah.
I'm sure it's just a blur, and it was a flurry tornado of emotions. But yeah, after you put that last point down, you fell to the ground and just, great emotion. Do you remember what you felt in that moment or were thinking in that moment?
Not really. Just, I think a culmination of things. I think we had put so much time in during COVID, on Zoom, and creating a culture. And it still blows my mind that we were able to do that and to really buy into something that at the time we thought we were doing the right thing, but you just never know. And, a lot of hard conversations that led to so much depth and understanding and clarity that when we got back in the gym, it was we already felt like we had been, even though we hadn't been playing volleyball for almost 1.5 years, it felt like we had been, because we've had so many conversations. So I just, at the moment I was it worked. This has all been, so worth it. And I think when you feel like you've done the right thing and put in the work, right? That validation at the end, it is about the gold medal, right? To some degree, but it's more about the journey and how you got there and how you felt like you did it right. And so it's really amazing. Even just when you think about role clarity and how we knew what we all had to do, and the 2 injuries we had, there's just so many things that you could compile that if we didn't have a great culture and team unit to really attack it, I don't think we would have walked away with the gold medal.
How did standing on top of the podium feel? You talk about everyone's role on the team and how it all came together. Was it everything you ever dreamed of? Was it total opposite? How was that for yourself? And how was that, how was sharing that moment with your team?
Yeah, it's something so surreal and really hard to put into words. But I think about like all the women that like paved the way, right? I think about how many years and Olympics that we've been trying and how long and it's taken almost. And like thankful for the trial and error that had to occur like before us. Even while I was in the program, it's really hard. It's really hard to stand atop of the podium and to do that is something that, we'll never forget, obviously. And will go down in history. Like that's also what's crazy is like the first time ever, like it's still, we're going to remember that time. And even now, like we talk about it and girls that we see, it's just like, you're always going to have that together. And to know that you did that is really special.
Yeah. You mentioned the journey and not just the journey of your team specifically in that moment, but, like you mentioned, everyone who paved the way before. And it was really cool. I was in Shreveport when you had the celebration dinner and got a little bit of a glimpse of what that team, how special that team is, and just the family atmosphere around that team. And your speech sticks out in my memory, Kim Hill's speech, Karcha's speech, but and Danielle Scott was in attendance there too, just to kind of see that legacy. What does it mean to you personally, to the team, as you guys kind of talk about it more? What does it mean to be that special team, the one that did it?
Yeah. Gosh, that's a hard question. I think that, it's a sign that like literally anything is possible. I think we had talent for sure. Like obviously without talent, we couldn't have done it, but there's a ton of great teams in this world and, that maybe have players that can take over a match. And we knew that we were going to have to out team people. And I think really embracing that. And it's a sign that, at least for me, my biggest lesson in my career is that, yes, I am physical. I have physical attributes, but I've had to learn how to rely on other teammates to be successful. And you don't always have to have the most talent to win. If you can figure out, I had one coach overseas, he was like, every game you play, it's like picking a lock. You just got to figure out how to pick it. And so, it seems like so obvious, but like, it really is. I think if you can figure out how to work with all six of you, like anything is possible. And if there's role clarity and there's buying into something bigger than yourself, the sum of the parts, like really like believing that wholeheartedly and like leaving your ego at the door, like anything is really possible. And I think this team is like the epitome of that. That's what it was. And we were on a mission and we knew exactly what we needed to do and to be the first team to ever do it. I think to have that example and something that you can always look to is awesome. But I think even moving forward, now and being back, it's like, all right, that team is never going to be the same, right? There's people that are missing and, it's never going to look like that. But how can we still embrace the best version of ourselves individually and bring our best selves to the table and try to find how we all work best together and find our own identity, because it's going to look much different than it did. And it's going to be probably twice as hard because people are going to come at us even harder than they probably did originally. So I know it's a new challenge and it's fun conversations to be had as well.
What are some of those lessons that you're maybe personally or as a team carrying over, goal-wise into this season?
Yeah, obviously I was gone last year, but I tried to follow and I've been trying to catch up kind of on the lessons that they've learned. And I think that just trying to, again, really embrace like, how can I be the best version of myself? And then therefore, how can I bring that to the team? And I think understanding teammateship, what is what does being a good teammate look like? How can I show up every day? If I'm not getting what I want in the end, am I still going to show up for my team? You know, like I said, we have a ton of athletes in the gym right now. Not everybody's going to get what they want. And that's unfortunately the life and sport we live. And can I still push the person next to me to be the best they can for the bigger picture of the team? And I think it's that selflessness and ability to work for the whole that I hope that we can continue to push that. And it's hard. It's hard because we all, at some point, right, there's some selfish like goal internally, like I want to be the best and I want to do all these things. And of course, you always have to have that and strive that personally. But it's how can you still do that incongruent with trying to help those around you?
Is there, just looking back at your experience overall in Tokyo, is there like a favorite memory, a funny moment that will stick with you from that experience?
Goodness.
Could be on or off the court too.
Yeah.
I know it was a very unique Olympic Games comparably, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Nothing like I mean, it was a beautiful, like where we stayed was absolutely beautiful, like right on the water. I don't know. And I just think the Olympic Games is so special, just being around other athletes. And obviously like with COVID, we couldn't be that close to them. But just the feeling that you get being in an Olympic training center. And I don't know, it's such a monumental like point in people's lives. You know, they worked so hard to get to that and just really embracing that time is really special. I do remember like where we get like our drop zone, like, and where we're staying is like pretty far. And like one day it was just like absolutely downpouring. And like, we're all trying to like, and then they have these like in the village, they had like these motorized, like they were electric, but like buses, but like they weren't very fast and like you just didn't know. And so like, do we wait for that? But then we were just all like just drenched and it was kind of hot and yeah, but no, all in all, it was just a great Olympic Games and great memories and very, very thankful. And obviously Japan does a great job hosting all events. So
yeah, I remember the USA training facility was so far away from the village and even where I was staying too, in the main media center. But yeah, the bus system was pretty good, which was helpful. Yeah. And I just remember like everyone being so helpful, like and nice there in Japan. So yeah, I agree. Like a great job hosting everybody there.
For sure.
So I mean, just asking, is Paris on your mind? Like, you're planning to make a run, for that 2024 roster?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's obviously the ultimate goal, but I also think that I just want to help in any way I can, and obviously like I'm kind of dealing with just like a little bit of a injury in my knee, nothing like major, but just trying to make sure that I'm healthy and put together, because I know that therefore can help other people. So obviously that's ultimately the goal. But just in any capacity that I can help. Yeah.
Minor injury aside, where do you feel your game is right now compared to previous seasons, coming into the Olympic year?
Yeah. I feel really good. It's kind of a shock to me sometimes. I think like where I was in Tokyo, like I feel like was my best volleyball, and I feel like I was in really great shape. And then I went on to play, a couple pro leagues, but I've had enough time off that I feel like I've been able to build quite a bit of muscle off the court and really stayed in pretty good shape. And so I feel really good, and I think I'm seeing the game still at a very high level, which I'm very thankful for. And again, the passion is still there. I think sometimes when you're on the grind, and it's hard for people to understand, like, we don't really have that much time off, like, especially if we're playing a full season. So it's 8 months overseas, you get like a week off and you're rolling right in the national team. So the mental grind of it is really challenging. And so I feel like because I've had these pockets that my mind is able to kind of take a little bit of a break and then really kind of ramp back up and get kind of in the zone again. So it's, that's really helped me kind of stay focused and stay on it and really be confident in kind of where I'm at.
Love to hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I know. Man, hear that? We need a break, Steven. Time to go on vacation, take some time off. I'm just kidding. But,
there you go.
Let's
I just get 2 months off. It's okay.
Then emails start piling. That's another conversation. Another episode there. But let's talk a little bit about VNL. So the women went undefeated 4-0. Some really close 5 setters, but all victories included. So applause there. What are some of your thoughts, your overall thoughts, and comments on the first round?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously fun to watch, and really just stoked by how well we competed. Like you said, like there was some, really big challenges that some of the teams, like Turkey, brought most of their main team, and to see us competing so hard, I think that's so awesome to see. And some girls like didn't have much, playing experience at the national team level. So to see them embrace that was really cool. So, cause it can be intimidating. It's, it's a whole nother ball game. And just to see them step up was really awesome.
You mentioned, a lot of the new blood that's on the roster right now, and some with no national team experience, some with no VNL experience, even international experience. So, yeah, any thoughts on how they performed in this first week? The new young talent.
Yeah, it's great. They did so well, and I think that it shows like what we're trying to preach also as a culture. I think they're very much able to be themselves, and that there's no judgment, and we're here to help. And how can we kind of bridge that gap of them coming in? Like how do we make it seamless, and to feel like that you are going to fail, right? We all are every day. We fail every day in the gym, but how can you fail and then come back and know that we're all in it together and that nobody's feeling alone. And so I think seeing that like on the court is really cool to see. So, and the fact that they really haven't been training that long together too, like that's also something to be said. And the roster's changing, people are changing. Like it's a hard environment to be successful in. So it's cool to see them embrace that.
What are some things you do to help mentally prepare the team for, something like VNL or any kind of international competition where, you maybe you don't have, the experience yet, or, there's so many, varying levels of it. What do you do to kind of bring everybody together mentally?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's a great question. I don't know if I necessarily do much. I mean, I just try, for me personally, like just try to preach during practice, like I think a lot of times, like if like we practice at a pretty high level every day and we get after it every day. And I think it's really important to train almost harder than matches are going to be, because once you get into a match, I would say, what to expect, but like, then when you get to a match, it's quote unquote easier, even if that's not even the case. But I think we got to get after it every single day and bring our best every single day. And if you can't look at yourself every day to say that I've done my best today, then you need to reevaluate how you're approaching practice, because if you practice how you play, then you're going to oftentimes show up how you play, show up the same as how you play. So I think that's something that I've just really tried to talk about, is if we're not getting after it, like just holding the standard in practice, like, hey guys, like this is unacceptable and we got to do better and bring better tomorrow, or maybe we finish later because we're not performing at the highest standard of practice.
You mentioned earlier when you were kind of coming to the decision of coming back or not, you felt like you had a lot more in the tank, physically, but also just more to give to the program itself and advice and mentoring. But have you had a chance to meet some of the new players, maybe even specifically the outsides, and get to talk to them a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not like I'm kind of rehabbing on the outside. So just trying to really, have those conversations, see how they're doing. I think they were all excited to be back today and just kind of talking about their experience in BNL week 1. So just trying to give where I can, and obviously just trying to show face in practice, even though I'm not physically, in practice. So just making sure, letting them know I'm there and here to talk if they ever need anything. But also too, I got to get myself right. So then therefore I can add a little bit more value when the time comes.
How excited are you to have, the finals on U.S. soil in Arlington, Texas? Like, that's got to be a really good feeling, right?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And I've had so many people reach out like, I'm coming to Texas. And like, so it's really cool. And we're excited to be home. And this travel schedule is not easy, and kind of switching time zones and being all over the place. So to be kind of, 2 hours ahead is not a bad gig.
Not bad at all. Yeah. I imagine there's a big red caravan coming down from Nebraska.
Sure. Exactly.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. It seems like such an obvious question, for us as employees, as you as an athlete with USA Volleyball, but in Texas is a very big volleyball state. But why should the fans want to come out? Why should volleyball athletes, junior athletes, want to come out and watch this tournament?
Yeah, no, obviously coming out to watch VNL in Arlington would be awesome. And obviously seeing volleyball at the highest level is never disappoints, right? But also I just think in general, the last couple of years, there's been a massive push for women's indoor volleyball, professional volleyball in the United States. And I think this can give you a preview of what professional volleyball can look like in the United States as well. So obviously, I also think it's a fun environment to be a part of. Some of my friends came over to visit in Italy, and they had never been to a pro game overseas even, and they just were like, this is so different than what they ever experienced. So I think it can offer something like that, just a very different experience, and seeing how the rest of the world plays volleyball as well, because it is different than what we do. And but just really cool experience for sure.
Mm-hmm. Let's pack the house in Arlington.
Let's go.
And not just, obviously, USA will be there, but some of the best teams in the world will be there. Some of the best athletes in the world will be there. So, and this doesn't happen, let alone a final round of an international tournament of this magnitude too. So
exactly.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be there.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll be there in spirit. So
get that high five from afar.
I'll get you in my carry-on, Clarence. We're good.
It's gotta be a big carry-on. But on another note, you talked about pro volleyball here in the United States, and what a time to be talking about the topic. But you played in Athletes Unlimited. Now there's League One volleyball and Pro Volleyball Federation, all that gearing up to bring pro volleyball opportunities to the United States, and looking at the growth and development of the sport and the future of that as well. What are some of your thoughts on these new pro leagues coming to the United States?
Yeah, it's awesome again. And I think it's just, I'm stoked for the younger generations, because now they get more opportunities than we ever did. And don't get me wrong, like I'm so thankful that I've got to see the world, and I got to experience other cultures, and really, really appreciate what we have in the United States. We are so blessed. But I think also now it's giving opportunities even for girls overseas to come here and experience what we have. And I don't know, I'm just really, really excited for our youth to have opportunities to play, to stay home, and to be closer to their family and friends, and have their life here as well. Sometimes when you're moving overseas, you're uprooting your life all, for a short period of time, and starting over, and then coming back, and then starting over again. So I'm really, really excited for them.
what's some advice or maybe some point of like suggestions that you may have to, an athlete or a few athletes that are, considering which, route to take, whether that may be League One or Athletes Unlimited or, pro volleyball. I know it's a unique experience, but how does somebody, or what might somebody may want to consider when weighing all those options?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think everybody's different, and I obviously work with Athletes Unlimited, so I know probably a little bit more about them. League One and Pro Volleyball Federation, I don't know as much about, but I think everybody has to, decide on their priorities. Maybe it's money, maybe it's location, maybe it's owner of the team. I think they have to rank those priorities for themselves and make the best decision for themselves. Obviously, I think Athletes Unlimited is a little bit different in that it's in one location where, League One and Pro Volleyball Federation seem to be traveling more, I think, and having teams in different states and things like that. So I think it's just kind of navigating what is best for the individual and what they want. I'm trying to navigate that conversation myself. Like, what do I want to do kind of in this next year as well? Where do I want to be? And yeah, just trying to make the best educated decision I can. And again, I think just finding ways that I can help, but also not spread myself too thin as well. So, yeah, but I'm really excited that there's options, before there weren't any options. So we have options.
Yeah, a lot of options. Definitely excited for some of those options coming to the United States too, at the pro level. That's awesome. You mentioned just being incredibly lucky to play overseas and get to experience other cultures. Do you have a favorite place you played or maybe a city that you got to live in?
I feel all of them have been great. I know that's probably not the answer you want to listen to, but I feel every time that I've gone to play overseas, even, Russia, I was in Turkey, Shanghai, and in Italy, like I take so much ownership wherever I'm at, and I really try to buy into what they want and their vision. And I just really try to embrace that side of it. And so I've really been so lucky that I've had great experience everywhere. And I would say that all cities have been cool. I mean, I would say Shanghai is probably up there as one of my top favorites. Just really, really cool. But Istanbul is also great. And even Milan was fantastic. So again, I think very much by the location and the timing and everything. So I wouldn't say I have a favorite, but just very blessed. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Clarence.
I was saying that was just a great answer. We to show everybody some love and appreciate it.
I know. It was great. I can't pick one. Yeah.
Like keeping your options open for maybe a call to go back to one of those.
You never know. Yeah. You never want to close the door. I mean, clearly, even with
true.
I'm like, I think deep down, maybe there is something I always felt. I was like, I just don't want to close the door yet. So you just never know what life throws at you. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited as not only an employee, but a fan of volleyball to have you back. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch you play.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We when we had you back on episode 1, and it was kind of we were kind of gearing up for Tokyo, so it was all focused on Tokyo. We never really got to hear about your background in volleyball and your journey to where you are now. Could you talk a little bit about how you were introduced to volleyball?
Yeah, for sure. So let's see. Goodness, I came from a very small town where a population is like 850, very, very small. So where I came from, you've got to play a lot of sports. So I was lucky that my parents really threw me into everything. I started with soccer, which learned quickly that was not going to be my thing. And then I did gymnastics, which also learned very quickly that I was got too tall very quickly. I played basketball, and then I really, really fell in love with volleyball. And I started playing club kind of at the age of 12. And so started traveling quite a bit with that and really dedicating a ton of time. But I played high school basketball all the way through, and was actually in the band, did all the things. So I'm very grateful that I have a wide variety of experience, but really fell in love at the age of 12 and kind of just was on the grind since then. So
2 questions. One, was there ever a point where I think you kind of solidified it, but was there ever a point where you were like considering maybe, basketball over volleyball or one over the other? I mean, you seemed like you were pretty set on volleyball from your shop, but since you played basketball,
band over volleyball.
Band was coming up too. Don't worry about that.
Band. I was like, I was in the marching band too, like all the way through my sophomore year of high school. I was like, Mom, I appreciate that you're trying to push me in this, but I don't think this is gonna be me,
What instrument did you play?
Well, I started with the trumpet, and then I got braces, and then I had to get a, I was like, it's too small, so I went to a baritone, but I probably couldn't even play a tune right now. It was so embarrassing.
I used to play the baritone. It's hilarious.
That I don't know, but no, my dad actually was my basketball coach in junior high, and I think that if it was, he wouldn't probably admit this, but if it was up to him, I think he would have preferred me to play basketball, but the physicality and the running, I was like, I can't do this. It's too much. So, and I don't know. There was just something about volleyball that caught my eye and really, really enjoyed it. So.
Well, it's worked out pretty well, Dad.
Yeah. For sure. Exactly. No, now he probably wouldn't say that. But
no. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's awesome. I love hearing, just these like little facts that I've never heard about you before. Is marching band, all the sports you played, like
choir. No, I played the piano because my mom played the piano in church, so we had a grand piano at home. So also took lessons in that, and not my thing.
No, not it. No.
Because she's like, you have long fingers, so you can do more. And I was like, I can also set a volleyball as well.
I'm gonna stay on the volleyball court, Mom.
Exactly. No, it worked out well. And I very much appreciate my parent. They threw me in everything just to kind of figure out what my passion was, and very thankful that I was able to do all that. So.
What club did you play for growing up, and do you have any like favorite or fond memories that you like to look back on from those days?
Yeah, for sure. So I played for Premier Volleyball Club out of Omaha for 2 years, then went to Nebraska Elite for 2 years, and then Nebraska Juniors for 3. And I would say I remember my very first tryout when I was 12. I was so scared, and like. Yeah, just the nerves, like, am I going to make it? And then I had making like the 12-1s team and but I was a setter because I was the tallest one on the team, it was so fun. And actually that very first team, I actually played with the girl then on my 18s team that we played together when we were 12 as well. And then our entire 18s team at the time went Division I, which I think now that's probably more common, but at that time it was pretty not unheard of, but everybody went Division I, which was, we finished 5th at nationals, which back then there was, not all these other tournaments that you could do. There was one nationals, and we finished 5th. And it was a really big deal, especially coming from Nebraska, really. So
just imagine just the other team just showing up to all these D1 commits. I'd be so pissed off and motivated. So I'm like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, it was, we had a great team. Yeah, it was awesome.
What was your favorite year of, your whole club volleyball experience? What was that one standout year that was just, full of memory? I know it's all full of memory. It's all standout. But what was that one distinct year that I know you're thinking about right now?
I would probably say 18s for 18s. Sure. Yeah. No, it was really, having all those girls playing at a really, really high level was awesome. Yeah.
Being at nationals last year, did all those memories flow back, and did you have any conversations with some of the girls that you met?
For sure, yeah.
There?
It's when you're not in the club scene for so long, and you come back and you realize also how loud it is in there. I'm like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
It's like, how are we not deaf at this point? And it's just really, it's really cool just to see so many people playing the sport that I love so much, and giving so many opportunities for girls to get out there and play. It's really cool to see. So it brought back a ton of memories. And I just remember I wouldn't say my parents were cheap because they weren't, but they were just always trying to save money. And, every time at those tournaments, it's just so expensive everywhere. It's like for a pop, it's like $5. And I remember my mom packing the cooler, and here's the homemade sandwich. I'm like, Mom, but there's nachos over here. Why would I want your, no, but she was, just trying to, have me eat healthy and do all those kind of things. But
She's inefficient. Damn.
Exactly. So no, it brought back a ton of memories, and again, very thankful for. Without that, I definitely would not be where I'm at today. So.
That made me think of I met a club. Actually, I did a video about favorite tournament snacks at nationals last year, and I met a club who they called it their tackle box, and it was literally like a fishing tackle box. They have all the dividers in it, and they had different snacks in each divider. I was like, that's brilliant. That's that's so smart.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, I was actually talking to. I have a couple Turkish teammates here that are one's on vacation, one's now living here permanently, and she's coaching club. And they obviously going to their first club event. They're like, so many courts, like, what is this? Like they're shocked by how many people are playing, and also, but for them, they're used to training. I think she said she started when she was 8, and they were practicing like doing double days at that time, and they're like, you guys only practice like a couple times a week. Like what? Like, they're, it's just such a different thing, but I love like learning about their experience and like what's going on and how we're so different. And I don't know how we operate versus overseas. It's really so unique. And, but really the opportunities that we are giving our athletes to play is really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool to hear from her perspective.
I know.
Exactly.
Just like I never really thought about that, but that makes so much sense. Like it's probably so much different from what she grew up
only
with.
Practicing twice a week, and even for us, it's like that twice a week is a lot. Twice a week is like 3 hours.
That's a lot to a lot of players.
It's a lot, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, it's like we're double days, like from age 8 until pro. But they have a different system than we do, obviously. Right. And so, yeah, it's unique, like hearing from them and their experience. So.
Even like the layout and the scope of tournaments is probably way different. I have no idea what it was like for their junior tournaments, but I mean, ours are massive.
Yes, exactly.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. She said she walked into her first tournament and she's like 100 courts. What? It's like, yeah, it's, I hate to speak on her behalf, but yeah, just hearing her experience is really cool.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I still get traumatized from Sunshine Classic last year when we had 165 courts over one weekend.
That's just a qualifier.
Yeah, just a qualifier, not even national.
So crazy.
Oh, God, and the rain delay. Sorry, I'm just traumatized and bringing back straight up the path. It's fine. Yeah, just great times.
Yeah. Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. It's been great to catch up. And I don't know if you remember, but in Tokyo, it was like coming down to the wire of your travel day, and we couldn't get you on the podcast then, or I couldn't get you on the podcast then. And you said that you would do a rain check, and so we finally got you back. So
here we go. I do want one of those shirts, though. Is that?
Oh yeah, you're gonna get one. Yeah.
What color do you want?
Ooh.
Color size.
I like the white, I think. I like the white. Yeah.
What size do you want?
Oh, I don't know. Probably a medium. Are they like just...
Yeah, you're unisex.
Unisex. Okay. Yeah, medium would be great. Yeah. Thank you.
We also have, I don't have it on my desk, but we have mugs too that you'll be getting.
Okay,
I don't have it as well.
I gotta promote the podcast, so we gotta
love that. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Well, anything else you'd like to talk about or share before we let you go? And then, also, where can people follow you on social media, follow your journey?
Yeah, no. Obviously, thanks for your time, guys. It's a pleasure to be on. Twitter is Jordan Larson 10. Instagram is still Gov1007. I've been meaning to change that. And I'm still on Facebook. People still do Facebook. I don't know. I feel like that's a generation thing. But I'm still on Facebook, Jordan Larson. So yeah.
You want to change Gov?
Yeah, what's that? I hear that right? Turn it into. Hold on now.
You're like, I almost got away.
Another outtake.
The reason why I changed it was like based off sarcasm. I was like, I'm just gonna do this just because Polika keeps calling me that, and now I can't change it back. It's like contact Instagram, and I'm like, what do you mean contact Instagram? So yeah, it's fine.
Well,
embrace it.
If you do need help, I mean, I love that handle. I don't know if I agree with you changing it, but if you do need help, I can help you with that if you'd like.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jordan.
think it's pretty funny how she immediately was like, immediately no to soccer. But, you know, after that, you know, basketball and the marching band, surprisingly, which is pretty cool.
That was fun.
I actually played the same instrument. I played the baritone as well when I was in my band days. But I mean, like, wow, like such talent, you know, marching band, volleyball. But it always seemed like volleyball was the one that, I mean, from the conversation, you know, we got to look at some. You think there's some basketball highlights out there somewhere? So we can highlight those. That'd be some
Larson basketball highlight reel on the deep in the YouTube somewhere.
See.
Yeah,
let's see. We'll do some digging.
We can probably find it. I'm sure she was a baller though. On the basketball court. Yeah, awesome to hear about the marching band background too. I love hearing, you know, from our athletes, you know, those unique backstories, you know, something that a lot of fans probably don't know about her. And in my one required year of band, I played trumpet as well.
One required year.
But that was awesome. And we have to get her a gum sponsorship. What is going on?
I know, right? Come on.
Since Big Red, college? It's right there. It's right there.
It's right there in your hand. Don't fumble this bag, Big Red. Do not fumble the bag. Right? We don't do that. But that's a crazy ritual. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny to hear about that too. Just like the subtle like rituals and, you know, superstitions or whatever you want to call them that some that our athletes have, and
or the gum wall in Seattle. Who knows? You know,
there you go. There you go. She'll have if we ever have matches in Seattle, she'll have a lot to contribute to that wall.
Have a little section of ill.
There we go.
Never mind.
All right. Yeah. On to no. Really at the top, I just loved kind of talking to her and kind of dissecting, you know, her decision, you know, hearing about how that came to fruition to come back to the U.S. women's national team and just taking 2022 off. She did a little bit of coaching, but a lot of time just, you know, to herself and to her thoughts and reflecting on her career and how she was health wise, and just felt like she had a lot left in the tank to, you know, not only physically as an athlete, a player on the team, but just kind of being that veteran on the team, a lot more to give to that program, advice and mentoring some of the younger athletes coming up. And, you know, obviously, and she also talked about her season in Italy just being a big factor too. And she played very well in Italy with that club Vera Volley, and felt good where she was at, and, you know, talked to Karch, talked to some teammates, and before we knew it, she was announcing on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
I know. Perfect day. Perfect day for an announcement.
Perfect day, especially because normally, you know, we have some Star Wars content thought up, and it kind of snuck up on us, and I had nothing prepared. So she made that announcement. I was like, oh, this is the perfect excuse. I gotta make a little graphic for this. Didn't have any Star Wars Day stuff. Sorry. Yeah. Big thing happened.
I love how you just outed yourself and you just kind of ran with it, you know. Luckily, Lara doesn't listen to these episodes.
Oh, Lara was a part of that too. It's all right. Sorry, Lara.
Okay, that's hilarious. But I mean, kind of getting back to this too. I mean, even just talking about and reflecting on winning gold in Tokyo. As soon as we brought it up, she was like, "I have chills." Like, you know, this is something that still is, you know, either still processing or still just better than words can ever explain. And, you know, she did an outstanding job explaining and talking us through all of those emotions. But I mean, an experience like that, you can't put in many words.
Yeah, I think something like that, of that magnitude, will take years to process probably. And especially as you talk to teammates, talk to friends, talk to family, get all sorts of different perspectives on that moment. I don't think that's, I mean, obviously something she'll never forget, but I feel like the volleyball world will never forget that moment, and we'll never stop talking about it. We never will. Especially as we kind of head into the Olympic Paralympic year.
And I mean, you have the honor of, you know, being on the ground in Tokyo there, and I'm always going to remember just like watching in my room everything happen, like just that replay over and over and again. And I don't have a good memory, but I have
Larson for the win.
Yes, literally that. And like that is just something that's clear cut, concise, and I'm always going to remember that. Such a great time.
So cool. Yeah. of course, would have loved to just see that arena packed with fans, which we're going to get in Paris. So that'll be a lot of fun to just to have that environment back, that Olympic environment back.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to make just that experience for the athletes, for the family who are there, just that much better. But we hit stop on the recording, and Jordan dropped a bomb on us.
I thought I thought you were talking about that. We stopped.
Oh no! Sorry, yeah. In the interview, after our conversation with Jordan, we hit stop on the recording, and she dropped a little bomb on us. Sports Center ticker going by. No. Yeah, and by the time you're listening to this, it'll already have been announced, but Jordan Larson is joining the Nebraska volleyball coaching staff for the 2023-2024 season. I believe it'll be following the Olympic qualifier. She'll join the team, so probably about halfway through their season, but somebody check on the Nebraska fan base. Someone check on Lincoln, Nebraska, because they're probably just going wild right now. Internet's probably out. Internet's probably out there. Somebody's flipping cars over in the city. I don't know. But that's super, super exciting. I can't wait to see Jordan on the sideline at Nebraska, her alma mater, of course, which they also just inducted her into the Hall of Fame there too. Mm-hmm. So just a lot happening there. Just a lot of fun ties that we can make with that announcement. But congratulations, of course, to Jordan and the Nebraska volleyball team too.
Mm-hmm. And
it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. And I can't wait to stay tuned and watch and follow along, throughout the season. But again, Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us again. It's always a pleasure to have you. From the episode 1 to episode 67, we're rolling, and we'll be sure to mail you that shirt and that mug as soon as we can, for sure. But it's always a pleasure. Oh, look, there you go. Look, Steven's got the mug now too. So hopefully the YouTube version, when we put this all together, you see it there. But also you're going to get one. But again, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. We hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as we did. And remember, you all guests, you guys can follow Jordan and the U.S. Women's National Team through July as they compete in the Volleyball Nations League. All matches are streamed on volleyballworld.tv. And also TBD on where to follow Jordan on social media, because also hot take, she might be changing her name.
Yes. Might have to talk to her about that, but I know, of course, it's not my decision. It's not about me. But the way it's just so iconic. Gov is so iconic.
You might have to talk to her about that. Made it seem like it was your decision. Hold on.
Not my decision at all. I'm gonna say that right now. But Gov is just so iconic. But of course, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see now.
Mm-hmm. But I think with that being said, I think we're on to upcoming events. Up the vine with Steven.
You tell you were like, what? How did I intro this before?
No, I was trying to prolong it. I almost stuttered.
Okay.
No, I don't know why. It's just a busy week. I'm stuttering all the time. Don't know why I'm stuttering. So,
there's a lot going
along the words,
Yeah, you got to prolong it for your brain to catch up. I gotcha.
Something like that.
Well, on to upcoming events. We have the USA Volleyball Girls 11s through 13s Junior National Championship, June 14th through the 17th in Curtis Ward Producers' hometown, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And Curtis and Clarence will be there on the ground. So excited to see everything you guys do there. Excited to see all the social media, all the video. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we got a lot of beach tour events coming up too.
Just talking about, remember when our upcoming, indoor events were just a whole weekend long worth of events, and now just one. And then after that, it's going to be another one.
I know we're starting to see all the indoor qualifiers kind of trickle off a little bit.
And then these beach tour events are starting to stack up though.
Yep. Mm-hmm. No. And speaking of beach tour events, we got a full slate.
Good luck pronouncing these.
For the next couple of weeks. We have the Carolina Region Grand Slam National Qualifier June 17th through the 18th in Apex, North Carolina. The Iowa Region Regional Qualifier June 17th in Des Moines, Iowa. The Florida Region SSOVA St. Pete Beach regional qualifier June 18th in St. Pete Beach, Florida. Why is that so hard to say? St. Pete Beach. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Moving on, Western Empire region, we have the regional qualifier June 18th in Rochester, New York. The North Country region national qualifier June 23rd through the 24th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Rocky Mountain region national qualifier June 23rd through the 24th in Aurora, Colorado. The Southern Region East Coast Championships Regional Qualifier June 24th through the 25th in Cartersville, Georgia. And the Heart of America Region Kansas City Regional Qualifier June 25th in Shawnee, Kansas. Good luck to everyone competing in those events. Shout out to all the USAB regions for setting up and hosting those events. More details can be found on all upcoming events at usavolleyball.org. Break for taking a
pause. Go ahead and practice that. St. Pete Beach, Florida. Say that 5 times fast.
St. Pete Beach, Florida. I don't know what it is. It's not hard to say. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know what it is, but it's seems like a great place to be. On to the pro side of things, the FIVB Women's Volleyball Nations League Week 2, June 13th through the 18th in Brasilia, Brazil. The Beach Pro Tour Challenge, June 15th through the 18th in Jurmala, Latvia. The Beach Pro Tour Futures, June 15th through the 18th in Lille, France. The U21 and U23 Beach National Team Trials, June 19th through the 22nd in Hermosa Beach, California. The FIVB Men's Volleyball Nations League Week 2, June 20th through the 25th in Rotterdam, Netherlands. And the Beach Pro Tour Futures, June 21st through the 24th in Ios Island, Greece. How do we get to Ios Island, Greece? How do we get that?
It. A lot of events. Round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stefan. But that's a great question. We got to get there. Host a live episode there. Throw it in the budget. We'll talk about that during budget season.
Yep. We'll revisit that.
Remember, listeners, you can rate, review, share this podcast with your friends, families, teammates. It really, 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 really helps this podcast grow and reach new listeners as we continue to do every single episode. Check out our video episodes that are on our website and on YouTube. We thank you all for your continued support. Again, goal to 100 end of the year. We got a lot of episodes to put together, but we're going to try. If you know a club that should be featured or a story that you like to hear or any other topics that you just want to hear us talk about during the podcast, you can email us at the usavshow@usav.org. Leave us feedback. Let us know how we're doing. Again, any future topics you want us to talk about and cover on the podcast. Let us know. We can definitely make sure we add it to the schedule. And remember, new episodes are dropping every other week. And until then, thank you all for listening to the USA Volleyball Show. We are the official podcast of USA Volleyball. Cheers.
This has been the USA Volleyball Show with Clarence Hughes and Stephen Munson. Produced by Curtis Ward. Our content producer is Laura Fawcett. Our marketing lead is Bree Jaycox. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to rate and review. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the USA Volleyball Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.